This morning, reprieve for firefighters in the southeast of the country as New South Wales fronts flare there in New South Wales.
So the people working out on the field, it was just horrendous. I felt so badly for them, but they did a magnificent job.
Also this morning, Syria's main opposition group agrees to sit down with its foe in Geneva.
Egyptians vote overwhelmingly in support of a new constitution, strengthening the military's hold on power.
And out of the game, Bernard Tomic forced onto the sidelines for 3 months to undergo surgery on a hip injury.
Good morning, it's Sunday the 19th of January. I'm Kumi Taguchi.
And I'm Nick Grimm. Also on the program this morning, should Australia have its own dark sky reserve?
There are 6 of them around the world and the biggest one is in New Zealand. Now a campaign is underway to have one here.
And in case you're wondering, a dark sky reserve is an area with exceptional sky quality and natural darkness, so that can give astronomers the best possible view of the stars. Parts of southeast Australia remain on alert today, with bushfires still burning in 3 states. South Australia is the main concern, with residents near Bangor and the Eden Valley advised to remain on high alert. Erratic weather conditions are expected to move through the fire grounds later this morning. In New South Wales, a fire is burning uncontrolled in the Murray-Goulburn State Forest, that's southeast of Wagga Wagga. It's burnt more than 2,000 hectares and threatened more than 30 homes in the Carabost area. The Rural Fire Service says at least 1 home has been lost there. Now, that fire remains at a watch and act alert, along with a fire that's burning near Tumut, that's east of Wagga. Down in Victoria, meanwhile, a watch and act alert is still in place for parts of the northeast. The communities surrounding Club Terrace, Bellbird Creek and Cabbage Tree Creek are urged to stay alert. And the town of Goongerah is without power because of bushfire activity. Blazes are continuing to burn across the state, claiming over 300,000 hectares of land so far. 7 firebombing aircraft and 2 observation aircraft, along with around 150 firefighters, are trying to contain the Eden Valley fire. Meanwhile, in Bangor, residents are being urged to remain vigilant for at least the next 24 hours, but they're confident that fire crews can handle the threat.
The guys are doing a great job, fantastic, all the public and the volunteers and everybody. It's a big congratulations to them, and they're doing a wonderful job under the extreme circumstances.
Much more relieved and full of all the confidence for the guys that have been doing everything. They've done a fabulous job, and as a small community we all get together and help as much as we can as well too. So I feel confident that we're in a good place and that they will deal with anything that will happen.
Thanks, Kumi, and good morning to you. The results of Egypt's referendum on the draft constitution have been announced. The referendum was carried out with an overwhelming 90% majority, but voter turnout was less than 40%, with the Muslim Brotherhood and other groups boycotting the poll.
Egypt's new draft constitution is passed, and the High Election Commission says the document got an overwhelming support.
The total number of voters is 20,613,677. The voter turnout is 38.6% of the population. The yes vote, 98.1%. 1.9% said no. This is a higher voter turnout than the vote for the last constitution.
The military-backed interim government says the vote showed the people's support for overthrowing President Mohamed Morsi in July. Now that the government got the yes vote it needed, the next step is to set a date for more elections. But the anti-coup alliance, which includes the Muslim Brotherhood, has described the vote as a sham. The group hailed what it called the historic boycott by the Egyptian people, including the youth, which indicates that a majority of the people reject the coup and the constitution. Different groups are calling on their supporters to increase their protests to end the military coup despite the increased crackdown on dissent. Egypt is facing tough times, and analysts say that's unlikely to change anytime soon. Egypt is divided and is struggling to restore stability. Next week will mark 3 years since a popular revolution removed President Hosni Mubarak from power. And as most Egyptians mark that occasion, the only thing that is certain is more elections.
Syria's main political opposition group in exile has bowed to international pressure and voted to attend coming peace talks. The Syrian National Coalition will attend the conference in Geneva on Wednesday, despite fierce divisions within the opposition group. The government of President Bashar al-Assad says it will attend. The conference aims to start the process of setting up a transitional government and bringing an end to the 3-year-long war in Syria. The UN Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon says the United Nations will maintain its work in Afghanistan despite a Taliban suicide attack that killed 4 of its staff in Kabul. 21 people died, 13 of them foreigners, when 2 gunmen stormed the inside of a restaurant after the bomb had detonated. Among the dead was a British politician, several UN staff and the head of the International Monetary Fund in Afghanistan. The Taliban has claimed responsibility.
The wreckage of what had been a special place for Westerners and wealthier Afghans alike. One of the rare restaurants in this city where they could mix and relax. All that shattered in a heartbeat by a suicide bomber and 2 attackers armed with AK-47s. They went through the restaurant, shooting dead families and colleagues out for Friday night dinner. Amongst the dead, 4 of the UN staff here, as well as the head of the International Monetary Fund in Afghanistan. Today it was confirmed that one of the British victims was a Labour candidate for the European elections called Del Singh. Today his friends paid tribute to him and expressed their shock. The other Briton killed was former soldier Simon Chase, a father of 2 from Liverpool. He'd settled with his fiancée in Northern Ireland, where he'd worked as a doorman in a bar.
The staff that worked with him commented that he was a true gentleman, a great friend, and had a nature that couldn't see the wrong in anyone. Obviously they're very upset today.
This restaurant was one of the very few in Kabul where Westerners and others felt safe because security here was seen as tight. But the suicide bomber bypassed all of that by simply blowing up the entrance, and with it the sense that anywhere in Kabul could be seen as secure. Today the clearing up began in earnest, although neighbours of the restaurant are still in shock. Nadia Rahmani lives in the house opposite. She told me what happened.
All of a sudden the blast happened. I screamed, we jumped. It was machine gun, heavy fighting. I was shaking. I hid myself behind a curtain to stay safe in a safe place. And a lot of people has passed away and got killed. And I can see the blood outside. So that's sad. It makes me very upset. Hopefully I'm going to get over it, but it's not easy. Because I knew the owner of the restaurant and I knew the guards.
This year, Afghanistan faces elections, then the withdrawal of NATO combat troops, and this attack in the heart of the capital has again shattered hopes of peace.
Russia appears to be cracking down on insurgents ahead of the Winter Olympics. Security forces have released video footage allegedly showing a shootout with militants in the volatile Russian region of Dagestan. Authorities say 7 gunmen were killed in the battle after militants barricaded themselves inside a house in the village of Semender. Rebel leaders in the area have urged their followers to attack the Winter Games in Sochi next month. An Australian man acquitted of fraud charges in Dubai is hoping to fly out of the city tonight after he was stopped from boarding a plane on Friday. Marcus Lee was arrested in 2009 on fraud charges relating to the purchase of a plot of land by the Australian property developer Sunland. He was sentenced to 9 months jail before being acquitted twice of charges and given legal clearance to fly. But when Mr. Lee and his wife Julie tried to board a plane just 2 days ago, they were told he couldn't leave. The Lees are now expected to land in Sydney tomorrow morning. Sydney's streets have again turned violent, with one of several fights stopping traffic on one of the CBD's busiest streets. Police made several arrests in the CBD after a number of early morning brawls. One involved a large group behind the Ivy Bar in Angel Place, which erupted onto George Street and blocked cars. Witnesses say police used capsicum spray to break up another fight in World Square. Meanwhile, a man's in hospital after being stabbed in an inner city suburb. Emergency services arrived at the scene in Redfern about 10:30 last night and found a man with head wounds. He's been taken to hospital for treatment. Officers have set up a crime scene in Redfern.
Let's take a look at the satellite. A large low-pressure system over Western Australia's interior is triggering widespread rain and thunderstorms while directing heat to the west. A trough over New South Wales and Victoria is causing showers and storms. Highs are keeping southern parts of the country and southeastern Queensland mostly dry. Looking around the country, rain and storms in far north Queensland, hot and sunny elsewhere with southeasterly winds. In New South Wales, cool southeasterly winds and a few showers on the coast, hot inland with showers and storms. Mild conditions and isolated showers in Victoria's far east. It'll be warm and mostly sunny elsewhere. Mostly sunny in Tasmania after some early showers, mild temperatures with light winds. South Australia will be mostly sunny with warm to hot conditions throughout the state. Southeasterly winds on the coast to strengthen later in the day. Rain and storms in Western Australia's interior and north, hot in the west and south. And in the Northern Territory, showers and storms in the west and north, hot in the southeast with a few showers. Looking ahead to tomorrow's forecast for the capital cities, late showers in Brisbane, the chance of rain in Sydney, clearing showers in Melbourne, mostly sunny in Hobart, sunny in Adelaide and Perth, and some showers in Darwin.